rather soggy ditch. I'm your resident ditch witch, Tara Tyne, and this is Max. And we're about to get witchy, whether you like it or not. So today, as you can see, nobody's in the mood for much, but I have to say Dave is playing a blinder. He's just over there doing a bit of strimming on the Outbuildings, as you've just seen. So I thought we could take a walk over and see how he's getting on, and I could update you on some of the stuff along the way. There hasn't been an awful lot happening, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's been winter time, it's been early spring, it's quite cold, it's quite miserable, and let's face it, we needed to put our feet up for a little while. But anyway, let's go for a little walk and see what we can see. So initially Dave was getting the strimmer out today because he needed a place to store the scaffolding that we've just bought. We'll talk about that in a minute. In the meantime, I think I've caught Dave on his tea break. Dave, do you want to come out and join us?
Well,
also our lovely gooseberry bush here, and not just any gooseberry bush, folks, okay? This is a red gooseberry bush, which we were assured by the lady in the gardening centre would have gooseberries on it this summer.
yeah, it's gorgeous there. You can see all the buds coming out
All
there.
the wee shoots. Soon you'll have gooseberries, Dave.
The gooseberries will be on mine.
Moving on round, Dave has been doing a bit more work on the French drains now. We'll take a look at that in a second, but on the way, like, please excuse the mess of the place. Do you know, I mean, this is the uncut stuff here, like, there's no making this shiny. And then stuff like this starts happening, where your lintel falls down on your woodshed. That's quite worrying. What do you think, Max? Yeah, me too. You'll probably remember us stacking up this wood, was it before Christmas, Dave?
Aye, it was before Christmas and some of this year as well.
Yeah, you look like an angel there because I changed the lighting settings for filming inside the woodshed. I'm telling you, you'll be saying your Hail Marys that this thing won't fall down on your head. The objective now, because this was a very good place to store the wood that we received, which was already dry when we bought it, but as for the wood that we're cutting now and trying to dry it out, namely the big pile of crap, the BPC for short, in the middle of the field, well, that's slowly but surely getting processed for next year's firewood. This is the time of year to be working on it, but I feel like if we keep putting it into the woodshed, it's not getting a proper chance to dry because it is so damp in here. It's nearly holding the moisture. So it did okay for the stuff that was already cured and very dry, but I don't fancy loading all our forthcoming firewood into it. So we're going to move to beside the woodshed, but that's for a later video. We're going to tidy out a space, lay out some pallets, transfer the timber that's in here already, and hopefully still have some room to stack up some more as we get processing the BPC. Back to outside. And as I say, Dave has been working on the French drains. Good work, Dave.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
It's not easy when you're doing it on your own.
No.
You've had help for some of it.
Yeah, Dave, Stephen and Sean all came down, gave a hand. Fair play to them all.
Yeah, God bless the lads is right. So that made a very good start. You actually had it about half done before Christmas, didn't you?
Yeah. And I'd say we're about 3/4 of the way done now. There's just a back run of the house left to do.
Okay, so you've broken the back of it.
Yeah.
It's mostly done.
Yeah, it's mostly done.
Cool. So do you want to take us round and show us what you've been doing today at the Outbuildings?
Aye.
And if you saw my video last week, you'll have seen that I've been trying to imagine how we might use the Outbuildings by building our house in Sims 3. So check that out if you haven't seen it and if you're a fan of The Sims. Also, shout out to our mosquito larvae, making our lives that little bit more interesting. What I find interesting about the mosquitoes is that the only time we've been without them since we moved down here last August was probably a 5-day period, at the height of the really bad frost we had in December. So an indicator of some change in the climate. Max is going to shingle the roof for us anyway, aren't you, Max? Oh, he's loving being on camera today. He's really taking the opportunity to show off his skills.
He's a roofing kitty.
Yeah. Oh, Max with many skills.
Yeah.
So anyway, here we are at the Outbuildings, and this other much smaller pile of crap is Dave's rather large achievement for the day, because he's been in clearing out this outbuilding, which I realised we hadn't actually shown to you since we first gave the tour of our cottage when we bought it. So Dave has informed me Max has just knocked out one of these windows, so thanks for that, Max.
Yeah.
So it's still rather sort of precarious, but what we've discovered from cutting back is that there's a wall here. We knew there was 2 doors on this building. We didn't realise they were leading into 2 separate rooms. So I mean, this building here, like, here's a little room in here, and then making our way down, we've got quite a large room, a very large room.
And a gate.
Now we must ask Paddy about this. I'm pretty sure this would have been used to house animals.
Yeah.
Probably. But we have been talking and trying to think of some uses for these. I suppose it's a bit early in the game for us to be deciding what we're going to do with these, but it's just trying to think about our site overall. I think maybe a mistake that we could be prone to making is moving into the house, focusing all our energy on the house, and sort of not thinking about the long-term plans for the greater site. I suppose it's that holistic approach, permaculture, where you want to sort of think about all the systems that are at work on your property and try to incorporate them all. So I know there's probably a lot of you watching this who would tell us that our best advice is probably to knock this, but I don't think I have it in me to do it, and you don't either, Dave, do you?
No, it's gorgeous. Like, who were we chatting to the other day, and they were like, if you can hold on to a building, like, without having to knock it, that's the way to go, like.
Yeah. Oh, my lens. My lens is getting so wet. This gate here was covering that top door on that little room we've just discovered today, so it was hard enough to spot it. It was well tucked away.
And we actually have 3 doors. We have 3 doors on that there.
There's 3 doors into this. I mean, this is the size of a whole other cottage.
Yeah.
Not that I don't know what sort of state the ground is in. It probably needs a lot of drainage, but I mean, something to look at down the line.
Aye.
One of the rooms would make a lovely utility room anyway.
Gorgeous. The nicest utility room this side of the Shannon.
Not that you've built us a very fine pump house, Dave.
Ah, yeah.
And
quality.
And utility room, temporary utility room.
Is right.
That'll do us for the foreseeable future.
Aye.
And just on our way, right facing it, we've got this other outbuilding, but it's still completely overgrown, so that'll give you an idea of what Dave has done today. He managed to take those 3 rooms from this to being able to see the back wall. Good job, Dave.
Cheers.
I reckon you're due a cup of tea at this stage.
Oh, definitely.
And one more bit of kit and bit of crack we had happening this weekend is that we have invested in a hammer drill to help us remove all this pebble dashing from the facade of the house. Now we've got pebble dashing most of the way around and cement render, so that's all going to have to come off in order for us to repoint the walls and expose the stone, let it breathe, maybe cover it back up with some lime render, a nice breathable, porous material. But isn't Dave smart looking there in his hard hat?
This is my hammer drill. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Right.
So we're gonna give it a go. We've decided to do it out the back of the house in an inconspicuous place, just in case. Let's hope that window doesn't come crashing down as soon as you start to.
Yeah.
He's got his safety gear on. I'm standing well back at a distance. I'm all the way on the other side of the French drain here, so...
I'm gonna try the other attachment. So
Okay.
it'll take off more. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, you'd be you'd be all month trying to take it off at that rate. Oh, I made it inside anyway, and I got the cup of tea in. So I hope you've enjoyed doing the rounds with us today. Sorry there isn't an awful lot to show you, but I mean, do you know, the weather has just been pretty cack, to be honest. And also we've been really busy with the behind the scenes stuff, the stuff that earns the money to keep the project and the renovations going. So any nice weather there has been, usually one or both of us are very busy and there's just very little getting done. But we expected that. To be honest, we're well ahead of where we thought we were going to be at this stage. We thought we'd just move down to the mobile and put our feet up for a few months and not really worry about it till next, well, this spring or summer. Where are we? When are we? What is time? But look at us, we've got loads done. So I think it's alright to take it easy for a bit. Stop, breathe, take stock of what's around you, build up the money stores a little bit so that we are able to move forward and that we know exactly what we're doing when we get there. So don't forget to hit subscribe for more fun and witchy renovation property adventures. I upload most Thursdays and you're not going to want to miss it. Slán agus beannacht, goodbye and good luck to you.